Welcome everyone, and in today's video we're going to talk about the 4 lessons to change the way you think about wealth. Initially, I want to discuss that all those lessons that I have in the video are based on Rich Dad Poor Dad's book from Robert Kiyosaki. And honestly, I've read the book a little bit later in my life. I think I was around 25, 26. And I'll try to synthesize all my lessons and all my learnings from the book in this video. So let's go into it and let's start with lesson number 1. And the first lesson is that rich people have money work for them. So in this first lesson, the idea behind it is that people can be stuck in jobs for pretty much their whole lives. Different people are in the position of just working and finding a job and just being stuck in the day-to-day and the monthly expenses without actually managing to save any type of money to actually free them from the responsibilities and expenses that they have on a monthly basis. Other people are into their careers and they are willing to expand and grow into their career and also building up that expertise that they have in a specific niche or a specific industry. And that is valuable, of course, but pretty much both sides, it boils down that they're actually trading hours for money. And this is something that for me, it was a switch, a little bit different. I was maybe rewired in a different way. I was never the person that was always willing to go for a job. It had to meet certain criteria that actually complements my lifestyle and my understanding of the world and everything like that. But being stuck in this job, in this loop, or in this hamster wheel that you have on a day-to-day or trying to grow in your career, you're only going to earn, quote unquote, as much as the person above you, or you have to work for 5 to 10 years or whatever the case may be in a specific industry, in your niche, to actually grow your salary and also to grow your earnings from that. You cannot exponentially grow and kind of multiply your abilities because you're just an employee, right, in that organization. And this is super valuable, I think, for most people. Not everyone should become a business owner. Not everyone should become an entrepreneur and start a business, but just to bring you this idea to more people to understand it and to have this point of view. Of course, you can always start a business. It's not the easiest thing to do. It's pretty hard to actually get that business off the ground, to get it running and moving and have traction to expand and have employees or contractors or freelancers underneath to actually help you grow and scale the business. Personally, in my life, this was one of the biggest and most rewarding experiences. I know you go through the dirt a lot. You try to scrape and crawl throughout the ground and try to find the right idea and the right angle to pinpoint and actually present and sell and market the thing that you're trying to pitch and sell to the people. But the satisfaction of actually building up something from the ground up and going through the steps and going through the struggle to actually build it from the ground up, then there is nothing else that actually compares to that. And this relies very well to the next point. So let's go into the next one. The second lesson is it's important how much money you save, not how much money you make. And the idea behind it is this whole lesson behind saving, and this is something that I found throughout different sources. I've mentioned this in a previous video of mine that was focused on financial freedom and the lessons I've learned through Dave Ramsey's book, Total Money Makeover. And this is for savings, and savings is something that is not super sexy. Nobody's being attracted on saving more and more money, but this actually brings you a different perspective, that brings you stability, that brings you freedom. And the more money that you actually manage to save, the less stress you feel on a day-to-day basis. And of course, if you are willing to start a business or a side hustle, then you have a little bit of cushion that you can sustain yourself and bootstrap the whole business around, and then you can prepare yourself for more success. Even though you might be actually working in a company, you might find that out of office hours or on the weekends, you can sustain yourself and build that thing that you are passionate about, the thing that you are non-stop thinking about. Maybe this is going to be your breakthrough, but keep in mind it's really hard. I don't want to say to anyone not try. The whole idea is to try, but don't have too high of hopes. I think the best way to put it into words is you need to be resilient and need to continue testing and optimizing the specific business and idea until you either run out of money or until you get so many no's and you actually verify for yourself that this is not the right business or not the right angle and there's no value that you're actually providing to the end clients. And in this point, Robert Kiyosaki is stating and presenting this idea that we need to focus on a bigger timelines in our life. And then we don't need to think about the short-term pleasures of actually buying a car, buying the watch, buying these success symbols that we all think about that we should, but focus on the long term, focus on your financial wealth, financial freedom, focus on building that long-term abundance that you have for your business, for your family, for your kids, for your grandkids, for all your whole generation of lineage of family and the people around you. So I think just combining this to another thing that I've read, and I think it was from Grant Cardone. He did like a research throughout the 1920s recession in the US. He found that 40% was the saving rate of the biggest and the wealthiest people in the US. And they actually, just because they save so much, they can time, quote unquote, time the market when it's at the lowest, when there is a recession, and they have like these substantial savings that I can reinvest in the market, and then the whole economy builds up so they can double, triple, even more, multiply the money that they have from investments. So keep that in mind. I think it's super important to live below your means. It's super important to try to save 40 to 50% on a monthly basis. And this provides a lot of value, a lot of freedom, a lot of stress-free life for yourself and your family. The third lesson that I learned from Robert Kiyosaki is that rich people acquire assets. And I briefly mentioned this previously in one of the steps, that we are bombarded by these messages, bombarded by these celebrities and influencers and these gurus in industry that they have the nice watches, the nice cars. And this is all nice and good to have, don't get me wrong. This is, I think, something that we need to experience. I think Jim Carrey said, I want everyone to become rich, so they see that that's not their end goal. The idea behind is that rich people didn't get rich because they bought the jewelry, they bought the watches, they bought the cars, they bought the liabilities, they bought the big mansions that they cannot rent out. They started building up their businesses, they started investing into assets, they started investing into real estate that actually brings them income. They've increased their value of the business, they built up their personal brand, and then by the money that they probably make on the side or in a passive way through equity investments, bonds, different type of investment stocks and investment in companies, let's say, so riskier investments through startup investments and stuff like that. Maybe through the profits that they make from that, they bought the nice watches, the cars, and everything that you see and have been bombarded by the media. People are happy and are striving to get that materialistic goals, but at the end of the day, the goal is not to look rich, the goal is to be rich. And the idea is that try to keep yourself aligned with what you're trying to achieve. Try to keep the goal of the X amount of money that you're trying to achieve on a monthly basis, let's say. Think about the long-term goals. Think about the value that you give to the outside world, to the value that you bring to the market in your specific niche in the industry. And then focus all the money, instead of buying different things and liabilities, focus on building that up for yourself. Focus on adding more value. Focus on showcasing what you can do to the outside market and try to share it to the broader audience. And this way, your name is going to grow and then your expertise is going to grow and everything like that. And it's just a cycle that it's not a cycle, it's more of a snowball effect that you've been creating. So pretty much like, it's like a little mantra for businesses and business owners is try to reinvest as much money as you can in the business, because once that thing actually started to have traction, then you need to lower all the expenses that you can, of course, and try to reinvest everything like that to scale it and to have bigger and bigger traction, just because you pretty much found what works in your business, in your industry, in the market, and everything like that. And this has been the third lesson. Let's go to the next. The fourth lesson is working for yourself will make you wealthy. And this goes back to a previous step. I think I previously mentioned this, that no matter how good you are at your job, no matter how great your company is and the people that you work with and everything like that, there is always a limit to your potential. There's always the limit of the hours. There's also a limit to the potential that you might grow. So keep that in mind and see if it's actually for yourself. Not everyone should be that entrepreneur that strives and goes for the big win. Like I said in a previous video, it's super valuable to know yourself. It's super valuable to know how you navigate life, what your passions, what your expertise, what are your interests, and based on that, see if you can find that niche in the market. Maybe it's something that you do actually on day to day in your job, in your particular career, and try to see if you can create something that brings more value without actually you needing to spend more time on that. Try to see that as a one-off value creation and try to see that as a asset that you might create for yourself that actually going to bring you some form of payment. And maybe you'll grow your audience, maybe you'll grow your email list, maybe you'll grow the reach of people and the numbers of people that you have that are connected to your, let's say, YouTube channel like I did. Those were the 4 lessons that I have from Rich Dad Poor Dad from Robert Kiyosaki. The links to the book are down below. Please let me know what you think about the video and the lessons that I mentioned down below in the comments. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to the video. I really appreciate all the positive comments. I really appreciate all the views and everyone that actually managed to watch my videos and I found them interesting and helpful. Please share with your friends and family and colleagues if you think there is a value in any of those videos that I've created so far. This has been my 10th video. Thanks to everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello everyone.